Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Delighted to be able to welcome onto the program the Mayor of the Kapiti Coast, Guru. Good morning and welcome to you, sir.
Good morning, John. Good morning, listeners.
Lovely to talk to you, and a very Merry Christmas to you and yours, in case we don't get round to that. Gosh, there's been a lot happening in recent times, though. The Productivity Commission, they were tasked with looking at local body finances, which we're all very concerned about. I mean, I've had a little pet thing for years that there's got to be alternative sources of finance for local government other than the rate, because I believe that's an unsustainable model. But what was your reading of the report from the Productivity Commission?
I think the local government President David Carl raised the key point very clearly. This is the failure of the Commission to know that we need property taxes in terms of rate and as the most efficient means of collecting local government taxes. But what they failed to realize is the population growth in a lot of councils has outstripped our ability to fund infrastructure. There's a huge gap. And we need alternative funding mechanisms to overcome that. And they haven't been very courageous enough to look outside the square, which means what they're doing is essentially repeating what other Productivity Commission reports have done over the last 9 years. And so what we are saying is augment our property taxes with a share of GST or local capital grants, anything that's outside the dependence on rates. And we know that while the population is increasing and we have got infrastructure deficits, the central government is sucking up benefits for the population growth. They GST taxes, salary and property taxes. So it takes the U.S. Local Government Commission, which is the agency the government is appointed to think outside the square, to be able to do it. What hope have we got? But one thing I agree with the Productivity Commission is they picked up on the fact that, this question of unfunded mandate. So the Commission has said, as telling the government to be able to measure and tally up the cost of legislation on council when making laws.
Do you agree with me that we've got a problem? And I just look at what's happening in the Horowhenua, which is going gangbusters in terms of their population, and that relatively small council's got an enormous amount of money to spend on infrastructure there. And also here, and in both of those communities, we've got a more than the national average, a very substantial proportion of ratepayers in particular who are on fixed incomes. And this is every time we talk about rates, of course, people like me say you can't put the rates up because the pensioners can't afford that, and you talk about valuations, it doesn't mean a darn thing, it's all on paper. And it's really people are having to find more and more money that they don't have. And that's why I say it's unsustainable. Would you agree with that?
That's right. So from the KCDC side, one of the proposal submissions that we made to the Productivity Commission is from a government grant of $100 per capita. This is from their surpluses that they make every year.
Yes.
That would give us, more than $4 million. That's about 8% rate. That's the sort of thinking that we need, to be able to do this sort of stuff so that people can vote for pro-growth initiatives.
Bernie Wanden was on the radio the other day and he was saying, well, we've just got to get into more borrowing. And he was talking in the Horowhenua context. And, of course, it does make sense to spread the loan burden or the burden of infrastructure spending in particular over several generations.
Yeah, but we've done that over the years. We've done that over the years.
That's right.
And now we're in a situation of holding our debt. And we do not breach our debt ceiling. Precisely.
So the KCDC has got very limited ability to borrow to do that kind of infrastructural spending, I understand.
Given the green line strategy that we've followed, so keeping debt low, capital expenditure low, and paying our debts out faster, by 2022 we will be starting to pay off debt and depreciation really fast.
Yes.
And then we will then be able to start loosening our purse strings.
Okay. Let's hope money is still cheap at that stage, because it seems to be quite cheap now. I believe
That's
that
right.
Horizons and the Greater Wellington Regional Council are exploring ways of, in fact, there's been a major initiative recently. I don't know whether you received your can of sardines or not from Darren Ponter, but the major initiative, government has been approached to have some hybrid trains to extend the current services to the Wairarapa, to Manawatu, and hopefully that means a better service for Otaki as well. I assume you're on board with this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been supporting this for the last year because this business case has been with Treasury from the regional council to them for the last 1.5 years. And basically, what it will mean for Kapiti is that the capital connection from Palmerston North to Wellington was beefed out to about 3 units. And then some of the units can be flying from Waikanae up to Levin and Palmerston North more frequently. And so imagine just people don't have to come all the way and park in Waikanae to catch the train. So the parking congestion and problems that Waikanae has inherited will go.
Indeed.
So what they're saying is by 2020, by next year, there needs to be a clear acceptance by government of this business case. Otherwise, by 2025, with the present continuous rate of passenger patronage, people will be packed like sardines.
Yes.
Hence, the sardines they were sent to 19 MPs and 13 mayors in the lower North Island.
So this is an initiative that you've been part of all the way through, this business case, etc.
The business case, I think it was 4 years ago, they started just on the cable connection side, and the business case was made for it. But in the last 2 years, they have been rethinking it. And the beauty of this is the dual mode system they're using is you can use the overhead electrical lines right up to, let's say, Waikanae. And after that is the second mode, which will be either diesel powered or they're looking at battery power to move it up further.
Well,
so it's flexible.
Let's just hope that comes through. Look, I've been asked by several people, what on earth is going along beside Kapiti Road? There seems to be a lot of work there. Is that the shared pathway that's going in?
Well, they're increasing it by 1 lane, right? And putting in the pathway.
They're increasing the road by 1 lane?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
And then that's why it's a lot of work. And I think the landowner there is taking advantage of that to put in his stormwater work.
Excellent. Do you know what's going to happen to that land, by the way? Because it seems to be right in the middle of town. I know there's been some controversy over the years about it.
That's St. Heliers that currently own this. That is part of the block that adjoins the Nahina Trust, who are shareholders in Postland. And of course, it joins up towards the west with the airport owners.
Yes.
So this is a massive block of greenfield development that's just waiting for stuff to happen. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any other urban area in the country which has this level of open space land right in the middle of the CBD.
That implies that there's got to be some careful planning, and I imagine there's some powerful commercial interests with an interest in it.
Yeah, and we don't want a situation of the 3 key owners, or what I've called them, the 3 bull elephants, fighting over retail space. I think they need to get together because they've got common problems in terms of the collective ability to develop the land because of stormwater problems. So they've got to put their heads together and come out with a solution. And Council is keen to help in this.
Yes, and this will be a very good test of the open for business mantra, wouldn't it? To be able to come to a resolution that suits everyone in that particular, as you say, a unique opportunity.
But I must stress this point that I've heard the open for business mantra, if you like, for a number of years. I think people get the wrong end of the stick on this because Council's business is monitoring, regulatory and enforcement. That is our business. So when we are open for business, we are open for our own business too, for a start. That is our role in this.
Yes.
So I would put, because other people will come and say we should be open to their business.
Aha.
You know, there's a definitional problem we have there. So we need to shift the perception. We should be open for opportunity.
And you should facilitate business opportunities as well, surely, that you should be on the side of making these things possible.
Yeah, so we are open for opportunity.
Okay, well, I'd just like to thank you. I know there's a number of other things that perhaps we could talk about, but we've still got one or two issues with that signal. It's certainly much better than it was.
Can I just, before we leave,
yes?
In wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, Safe Christmas.
Exactly what I was going to get on to.
I'll be out with the police, road policing team. They're called Impairment Prevention Team. Just recently they did a 1,737 tests in a thing and found the number of people who are still driving under the influence of alcohol.
Yes.
So I'll be out with them the next couple of weeks.
Excellent.
So they're out there, so be careful, don't get caught. The most will be responsible, drink moderately, and enjoy your time with family and friends safely.
So you're riding shotgun in some of the police cars, are you?
That's right.
Well, we have been suitably warned.
There'll be a roadblock in the testing.
Yes, indeed. And, well, let's hope that in fact you're underemployed in that capacity, that there's not very much work to do, because there's certainly been plenty of work to do in the various other capacities that you've performed over the year. Thank you very much. All the very best to you and yours.
Thank you to the listeners.
And indeed. So there we are. That is Mayor Gurunathan, Beach FM.
106.3 Beach FM.